All right, you're listening to the Table 12 podcast. Danny Barr, Paul Marino, Rob Klein on the board. Gentlemen,
How you doing, guys?
Good afternoon.
how's everybody doing today?
Good.
How was everybody's week?
My week was great.
Oh, I didn't, like usual. Most fun I had was going to ShopRite today, and
that's not fun.
no, it wasn't. And just a couple of things that struck me funny, and it wasn't crowded. It was great. I usually try to go on a Tuesday or a Monday or a Wednesday by 11 a.m. and there's nobody in there. So we go to the deli. The deli counter, it's tedious. The deli counter.
It's my favorite counter in the store.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, you got to push the button, you get the ticket. So I said, well, this ain't bad. We might as well get a little fresh cold cuts because there's only one person ahead of us. And that person took their time. It was slow. So I'm watching the guy behind cutting the meat. All right. And my first impression of him, okay, and then Paula wound up getting him next.
You guys don't shop together?
Yeah, we do.
You
I was
don't
with her.
use the same ticket?
You don't use the same ticket?
Yeah.
Well, then
No, what
how
I
did
meant
you
was
get
it
him
was-
next?
No, I said the next from the person that was already being waited on, not me.
Oh, okay.
There
Rob,
was somebody.
Yeah, I'm confused.
thanks. You're with me, Rob. Okay.
Well, there was
Okay.
somebody ahead of.
Finally,
I'm talking
Dan, we
about-
agree on something.
Right, finally.
No, the person that was already being waited on, Paula was after that person.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the guy, and the guy's ticked off. The guy looked like if I was working there, how I would look. That's what
Or
like
anywhere.
miserable, and
wherever,
like,
wherever you work.
Like he says to the lady, she sliced the roast beef, and he wants to look at. Yeah, can you talk a little louder? He says to her, So anyway,
Oh, did he really say that?
yeah, can
Oh,
you talk
geez.
a little louder?
Jeez.
Right. So now
Employee of the month.
Paula gets up there next. Now, meanwhile, another person comes out to wait on the people behind us. By the time Paula got the two things she wanted, the three people that were behind us were already done and gone. All right. So I said to her, the guy, she ordered something, and I saw the guy look like, I don't know what she thought he ordered, but he was ticked off that whatever she ordered. So I said, he goes away. What did you order? I ordered roast chicken sliced. I said, where the hell do you see roast chicken up there? You know, you get the roast turkey.
Right.
Well, it mustn't be a popular item because the guy was gone. Like he was mad that he had to go look for this meat. And he had to take the top off of it. He had to cut it. He kept walking back and forth. I mean, by the time this guy came back to slice the chicken, I could have went out and killed the chicken and brought it back defeathered before he got to start slicing it. He kept going back. I don't know what kind of a tool he was using to take the plastic off the. I was standing there, but anyway, I thought it was funny. So I says to her, "Did you have to order chicken? Couldn't you order turkey? We would have been out of here a half hour ago. One person online."
I'm with her. I'd rather have chicken.
Yeah, so
I don't
she
like
got
turkey.
the chicken. Anyway, she got the chicken.
Hey, since you bring it up, my only pet peeve of the deli counter is when they slice something of a different color without cleaning the blade from the previous color. And I know I'm being picky, but cheese. I get mozzarella, and right before me, they did yellow American. And then when I get home and open the package, there's particles of yellow cheese stuck to my mozzarella. That is a pet peeve of mine.
I don't think that's unreasonable, but they have a different. They have a cheese. They have a cheese one.
Yeah,
Cutter,
the
and they
meat
have
one.
Yeah,
right.
but you're still right. If they go to one to the other, you can't. So I'm walking through the store, and Paula stares at stuff. I said, she's staring at the meat, and she stares at different things. She's trying to get pricing. I understand the drill. But sometimes she's looking at the pork chops like if you stare at it long enough, the price is going to go down. It's not going down.
You wrote that joke, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You've been waiting for that
All day.
I bet it's in
That,
your
and
notes.
I thought the chicken one when I would have went out and killed the chicken would have got a rise out of you, but I wrote that one too about.
That was a little violent for me.
Okay. Anyway, that's the highlight of my week. Kind of that was like the excitement that I had.
Now you know why I wait in the car.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I can't do that to her. I have to help
Help
Paula.
check pricing.
Yeah. The other thing that happened, I don't know. I've been telling you about Nona Vita across the street. The
Not across the street from you, across the pizza place.
yeah,
Yeah.
by Ron Garrett there.
Right.
I ordered a pizza on a Friday night.
That's what you do there.
Right.
Yeah, they
And-
call it a pizza place because you order pizza.
And
Paul.
and Rob, they told me, and I thought I said it. I had to call them back because I thought I must have heard it wrong. An hour and 10 minutes, and I haven't ordered
Oh, really?
an hour and 10 minutes on a Friday night. So I ordered it at 6:30, and I went up at 7:30. Wasn't ready yet. The place was mobbed.
Oh, good for them.
You couldn't even park in the lot over there by Rite Aid. There, I had to park all the way down.
All
By,
right, you and Artie always tell me how good
and
the food
then when
is.
we go in there, Dan, like they were not people just don't repeat. They're coming out with
Meals.
full
Yeah.
like dinners and everything.
No, that's great.
And I didn't care, so I got it. I waited for another 15 minutes, so it was an hour and 15 minutes to get the pizza. But the place, so now I said, well, I'm either going to order earlier or I'm not going to order on a Friday night. The place was mobbed, but the food's really good there.
Yeah.
So, no Navitas. So that's probably about the extent
That's
of
your
my
week?
week. That's about it. Did the laundry, that's about it. It's not too eventful.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, I want to wish my daughter a happy birthday
Happy
today.
birthday, Megan. Happy
Yep.
birthday.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, how old is she now?
31.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You blink,
I remember the kids running around the firehouse. Now they're
right?
31 years old.
And it's funny because we were talking last night, and just like every moment of that day just was replaying in my head,
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't believe it's 31 years ago.
Crazy.
But and it was 31 years ago, and I still look this good.
Yeah. You haven't changed
So
a bit.
either I look good for my age now, or I looked really bad 31 years
You
ago.
haven't changed a bit.
I think the other.
Well, bald doesn't crack. Bald and fat don't crack.
No.
No.
Doesn't change
So,
much.
fat people don't age until they lose weight.
Right. But you kind of fluctuated over the years.
I'm on my third or fourth fat. Yeah.
Okay.
I go, I have to give someone else credit for that line, but it's a funny line.
All right.
But yeah, I go up and down.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Robert?
What?
How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
I caught you off guard.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
All right.
I thought you guys usually go on a little bit more.
I was going to, but Paul decided I was done.
No, I knew you had something else going. I just figured I'd get Rob in the
Okay.
conversation. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
I was
all right.
I was
And
up
back
at the
to
lake
you.
Friday and I had Friday and Saturday off because my son had his college friends come up.
Okay.
Now he's not in college anymore. He's 31 years old, but they have a yearly thing up there, and they're a lot of fun to hang out with. That's for sure. So we had great weather Saturday, not great weather Sunday. All in all, great weekend.
So you hang with them?
Yeah. Yeah, I got them a fishing charter on the lake. So they did that because I wasn't getting up at 5 o'clock to go fishing.
I don't blame you.
And then we hung out the rest of the day. So, yeah, it was a blast.
Good.
All right, now we'll continue
Yeah,
with
your
Dan's
son and my daughter were in school together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dan, we'll continue with your report. I don't want to.
I didn't
Well,
know he was
right.
reporting anything.
Well, I was going to say, talk about something else, but I'm enjoying this conversation.
You are?
But if Paul's ready for us to move on, then I think we should.
Why
No,
does
I don't-
Paul always get to dictate when we
I'm
move
not
on?
dictating. I'm just trying
Hey,
to keep
listen,
I'm trying to keep it moving. That's all.
okay. Well, I guess that's your job. I guess that's your part of the show is to keep it moving. I didn't realize we were on a
I'm
timeline.
not on a timeline.
We have to go to commercial?
No.
Okay. Went to see the Stray Cats Sunday night. Now, Sunday, when I bought the tickets months ago, I knew obviously it was August 16th. August 16th is the anniversary of Elvis's passing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 49 years on Sunday since Elvis passed. And it's a day I acknowledge. I'm a massive Elvis fan and always have been. And so when I bought the tickets, I thought, boy, it would be really cool if they did something for Elvis. Because they're a rockabilly band. Elvis started out rockabilly. Well, damn if they didn't.
Because it was the date of. They're not
Yeah.
stupid. He's a musician who's.
And it was also the last night of their tour. So,
Was that the Beacon?
no, it was at Morristown Theater.
Oh, Morristown.
And they get great acts. They get great acts for baby boomers.
Is that a big?
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me
no, I
just
get you.
say
I get
that.
you.
But-
Is that a big venue?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how many seats, but if I were to guess, I'm going to say 500.
So it was like Newton Theater.
A little bigger,
Yeah. Okay.
more modern.
Right.
But these guys are 70. They're fantastic. They
Yeah.
played 90 minutes nonstop, high energy. They did, maybe one ballad, but the rest was all kick-ass. And then they dedicated their encore to Elvis and did Jailhouse Rock and Hound Dog.
That's great.
And, with jams, because they're kind of a jam band,
So they get into the middle eight and they start playing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they look great. They're all in great shape. Lee Rocker, the stand-up bass player,
Yeah.
he hasn't changed a bit in 30 years. It was a really fun night. And I can.
So all three original members?
Yeah. Slim Jim Phantom, Lee Rocker, and Brian Setzer.
Great.
And it's the first time I've been to a lot of shows at Morristown for the Boomer
Yeah.
group. This is the first time I ever had to stand for a whole show. The whole place stood. And
nobody sat down.
No.
Wow.
I mean, occasionally people would sit down because, we're in our 60s,
Right.
But they surprisingly, there was quite a few young people there too, which I'm thinking, rockabilly's timeless. It doesn't matter if it's Jerry Lee Lewis or somebody now. And they do a little psychobilly, which is cool. And it was one of the best shows we've gone to there. A lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah. So that was, and it was very classy that they dedicated their encore to Elvis.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I'm sure wasn't. Let me start that over. I'm sure that wasn't their normal encore.
Right.
But because it was August 16th, they did that.
That's pretty.
So,
cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is.
And they did a Sun Records song earlier in the show. They acknowledged Elvis in the middle of the show and did a Sun Records show, but a lot of people had done it. It wasn't necessarily, but Elvis had recorded it.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the entertainment for the week.
That's great. You seem to always get something done on the weekend. You get something to do.
I try to get tickets to either Newton or Morristown every couple of months for something.
Yep.
I go online and I look to see what's coming up just so we can get out of the house.
Yeah.
And Morristown is one of our favorites because the Grasshopper has a restaurant right there in Morristown that is on the municipal parking lot. So
you don't have to you don't have to go to a different place.
Park the car, eat dinner, walk to the theater. It's all the same parking lot.
Well, that's like if you go to O'Reilly's and go to the Newton Theater.
That's same thing.
Stay in a lot, walk down and walk.
That's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, instead of having to go to a restaurant, park, and then, no, it's convenient.
Yeah, it's and the crowds are small and I don't know if I can do the places like the Garden and the Rock anymore.
No,
too much. I don't mind NJ Pack in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
That is an easy in, easy out. And it's a beautiful theater. So I don't mind doing that.
Right.
But the big arenas, no more.
Yeah, well, my friend went to see Pat Benatar at in Newark.
Oh, with Bryan Adams.
He said it was great. And
your sister-in-law went to that.
Did she went too? I
yeah.
Didn't see, but my friend Rusty went. And he said he had a suite because he has a connection. And he said, he played some of it for me, on the phone. I mean, she still got it. Pat Benatar.
So does Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Because we went to see him at the Garden 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. And I mean, it was the third time I've seen him over a span of 40 years.
It's a difference between being an athlete and being a musician is, athlete, you're going to end, 45 years old if you play that long. But musician can play a long time playing music. I mean, it's a lot different than.
But they have to stay in shape.
You have to stay in shape,
yeah.
But not like if you're playing, football.
Because the show Crossroads that CMT did, where they take a rock singer and a country singer and put them together on stage and they do each other's songs. You ever see? It's a great series. Well, they did one with Pat Benatar and Martina McBride.
Okay,
and it's one of the best ones. And Pat Benatar looks fantastic. I think it's funny that the last few years
too.
She's giving her husband so much attention.
Because he's a great guitar player.
Yeah,
too.
he's great. I'm not saying that, but he was always in the background.
Yeah.
For 40 years, 35 years, he was in the background, and then all of a sudden, it became the two of them. Which is nice. I think it's great that they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just imagine being a kid and your grandparents are Pat Benatar and Nick Giraldo.
It's pretty cool. It really is.
That's what was great with Ozzy when they used to show home stuff, and he'd be with his granddaughter, and like she'd be sticking out her tongue and giving the devil horns and stuff, and like someday she's gonna realize who her grandfather was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's like the show when he had the show. It was pretty funny. The reality show.
Yeah.
And like he was still a little bit messed up back then, but he comes out of his den. Who stole my beer? Who stole my beer? And his wife says, "You drank your beer. You're the thief. You drank it."
And he couldn't find his remote.
Yeah.
And it would be funny because I watched Ozzy and Jack's Detour, which I love that show.
I saw some of that.
And and they'd just be going somewhere, and they're in town and just walking down the sidewalk. But then, he'll be doing an appearance in L.A. and there'd be 10,000 people standing outside the place. It's such a odd dichotomy that he could walk down the sidewalks in New Mexico, but in L.A. or New York he can't. Do that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So did you catch sports this weekend? I'm sure.
Sports?
Yeah, a lot of sports.
Well, I mean, I kept up with the Yankees because that's what I like to watch, the Yankees and the Mets. The Yankees won 2 or 3 against the Blue Jays, but I'm sorry, they lost 2 or 3. The Blue Jays going for the sweep on Sunday, but the Yankees came back in the 10th inning and Ben Rice hit a 2-run homer to win, seal up the game. The Mets swept the Nats.
Mets are on a roll.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's a little late.
It's a little late, but every team, they say, "Well, the Mets are playing good now." Yeah, but every team goes through it, no matter how bad you are or how good you are. You're going to have a slump, or you're going to pick it up.
Well,
they just happen, like you said, they happen to pick it up too kind of late.
They're also playing in the National League, where multiple teams have 70 or more wins.
Yeah,
so they've already clinched basically, so they're going to settle down.
They beat the Padres last night too, so that the Yankees were off. But the Yankees keep having more injuries. Max Fried is on a DL again, or IL as they call it, with the same injury. He just came off. He had soreness in his elbow. You can't seem to get these other players back. They're just not getting back. Okay, but I don't think right now. I mean, Judge ain't even ready to swing a bat yet, and it's the middle of August, like we talked about last week.
Could you imagine Lou Piniella telling Billy Martin, "I can't play because I have soreness"?
Well, I mean, if you hurt, you hurt.
Yeah, it's money. It's the amount of money these guys get paid, they have to protect their investment.
Well, sure.
Every little injury.
I agree with you.
We're back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, whatever. They weren't making a lot of money, so they didn't have any investment to protect.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just following another story. Well, there's a couple of things that I noticed. Kyle Tucker. Big free agent signing for the Dodgers. I mean, he's only got like 9 homers all year, $61 million a year. Now he's getting so screwed up that he keeps dropping fly balls in the outfield. He's misplaying them. The coach doesn't even want to play him at Dodger Stadium because he's getting booed. I actually felt bad for the guy. They showed him he was all emotional in the dugout. He's getting so embarrassed. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, he's got like 2 homers and 17 RBIs at home in all these games. So he's really struggling. And, it's one of the things where they're driving up these prices on players. Some of it's not justified. I don't think he was a 61 million. He's not Juan Soto or Aaron Judge type of player. And he's making 20 million more than Aaron Judge. I think this is going to affect also this free agency and coming collective bargaining agreement.
Well, the fans keep paying it.
Not me.
No, not me either.
Yeah. But it brings me to another point. And, we had 3 celebrity deaths in the last few days. This actor.
Just today.
Frank Beard died from
today,
ZZ Top died. Yeah. Then you had this Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
That's a tragic story. Drug overdose. She had an abusive relationship with some guy.
Did they say that's what it was?
What?
You said
the last report I got, the boyfriend was with her when she died.
Right.
And they were doing the autopsy, but they suspect heart failure caused by an
cardiac
overdose.
arrest. Yeah. Exactly. Right. She's had a really troubled life.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. Yeah. That age.
She was married to Klitschko, and they have a daughter.
Yeah.
And she gave up custody to Klitschko because she said I'm not
shame.
fit.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Imagine having to admit that.
Yeah. And then Tommy John passed away, 83 years old.
Your buddy.
I met him on a plane once a long time ago, but I had to say this was at least 10 years ago. My daughter got me when she worked at Crystal Springs, Father's Day gift of come and have brunch that they had there. And I remember telling you about that. In fact, Tommy John sat with us, his wife or girlfriend. I don't remember what the dynamic was, me and my wife. And he could have been nicer. I mean, he could have just blew me off and just sat there. But we talked about baseball, and I followed his career. I mentioned the fact that I saw him out in California when he was with the Oakland A's against the Yankees, Guidry against Tommy John, and the Yankees won 4-3. And he was amazed. I remember the score of the game back in 1984. But we were talking about a lot of different things, and we talked about Thurman Munson. And he got emotional talking about Thurman, and just an hour and a half of just talking baseball, and it was really fun. The girls were talking. He gave me a bunch of balls. I got one for you. I remember getting it.
Still have it.
Can you give one to Dan? Because I knew I was going to see you later. He was just a really nice guy. I mean, the guy should be in the Hall of Fame, Dan. 288 total wins. He was 288 and 231.
12 more wins he would have been.
Yeah, that's usually an automatic. But his longevity, he played for 26 years. His lifetime ERA is 3.34. He had 2,245 strikeouts, 4,710 innings pitched, total 760 games he played in. 26 years he played. Amazing. And
the fact that a revolutionary surgery is named after him.
And you know what he said? He wishes he could, right when he got it done, when he started to see that they were calling it Tommy John, he says, I should have patented it. I would have made money. They mention his name every
baseball game.
Every game. This guy had Tommy John. So it was just kind of a sad thing.
They don't even say surgery anymore.
No, they say Tommy John.
They just say Tommy John.
Yeah. He says, I should have patented that. But
and they made a movie with Dennis Quaid about a pitcher who was washed up and then got that surgery and actually made it back to the majors. A true story. Made it back to the majors as a reliever.
Okay.
But it was about what this surgery did for him.
No, it's prolonged a lot of careers.
Yeah.
So that was a good time. And yeah, he later on, he even sent me a couple of baseballs in the mail after that day. Bobby Richardson, like he played for the Yankees. He sent me a few other baseballs. He was just a nice guy. He didn't have to, He
was Mantl's roommate, Bobby Richardson.
Yeah. He didn't have to talk, he didn't have to talk to me like he did. He lived in Crystal Springs part of the year, and he used to like to go golf up here. So he had a place, and he had just had gotten. In fact, they have it every year. The Giants have a golf outing every year. He used to play in that with the old Giants because he knew them because it was kind of the same era,
Right.
So that's Tommy John. So they had to see that happen. I watched the Indiana Fever game because it happened to be on Sunday. Indiana
against
Fever,
Atlanta
Dream,
Angel Reese.
And, it was really good to watch. They were losing the whole game, Dan, but they came back and they won in overtime.
Well, they tied it at 81.
Yeah.
And then won it in overtime. Yeah.
So it was a good game.
I got to tell you, I think Caitlin Clark is one of the best passers I've ever seen.
Really good.
She has eyes behind her head.
Both these teams, they shot the ball. I mean, they really shot the ball well, these girls,
Well, Angel Reese is a great player, and they're the two rivals because of college.
I'm a big Indiana fan. I don't know if I told you that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a big Indiana fan.
You know what? The whole country is right now. But that's the big rivalry between those two, Clark and Reese.
And I was watching it.
Reese won the national championship with LSU.
Right. I was trying to watch it, and some of the referees. It's just I don't want to pick on just the WNBA because I think the NBA is terribly officiated. But some of the calls on Caitlin Clark, she didn't even touch. At the end, they tried to give him a chance. They gave her 3 foul shots in overtime. The clock was winding down, and she didn't even touch the person. She kind of grazed close. It wasn't a foul.
So when they reviewed that, if it's the one that I saw,
it was in overtime at the end. They gave him
when she grazed the girl's back with her fingertips.
Yeah, kind of.
And called a foul on it. And then they reviewed it. The Fever coach called for a review on it because they didn't think it was a foul. And even the commentators were saying this is going to get overturned because that wasn't a foul. The referee, when they come to the table and they're looking in the camera to give the pronouncement of whether it's a foul or not, she mentioned Clark by name. She said, when Caitlin Clark touched her back, that's an illegal move, and called it as a foul. That's getting a lot of heat because when you officiate, you don't mention a player by name.
Right.
That's like a cardinal sin.
Well, they're out. They're out to make it hard for her. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But after the game, I also noted I saw on a report, kind of ticked me off. The Dream didn't come out for the national anthem.
No, they didn't.
And Sophie Cunningham was the only one with her hand over her heart, but the Fever stood.
Right.
You know, which I don't have a problem with that. But the other team can't come out for the, you're playing basketball and you're making money, and you can't. You're against the flag again.
Well, the game was in Atlanta, and they paid tribute to and I just went blank on her name, the politician it's Stacey Abrams. They paid tribute to Stacey Abrams before the game.
No wonder.
Right. So you got to know where they're coming from, and that's the game where the mother and daughter were wearing the XXXY shirt, and they went up just before overtime and told them they had to cover it up. They had or they were going to be ejected. And so the WNBA has gotten way too political.
Too agenda driven.
Way too political. And
they're going to ruin the game that way. They're going to ruin this whole thing. They finally got to a nice point. They're going to ruin it.
You know what? You watch these players. There's a lot of talent in the WNBA. They're fun to watch. They're scrappy. They're fast. They play a very fast game now, and all this politics is overshadowing it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think it's a shame because I started enjoying watching the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you before. I followed Rebecca Lobo back when her high school career was unbelievable but she lived near me, and Diana Taurasi just got honored.
Right.
She was amazing. So I always kind of on the fringe watched the WNBA, paid attention to it, but the last couple of years, and Caitlin Clark's the reason for it.
Right.
I think she's exciting. All this politics is overshadowing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I hope it doesn't ruin it, but it's not helping at all.
Well, when the coaches are doing it,
of course,
when you have the
owners and coaches.
Heckling fans,
in
your own arena.
Yep.
Of course that was Seattle, so I would expect nothing less than Seattle, but still, I mean, give it a break. Play basketball.
Yep.
I mean, they're generating more revenue. They're living a better life than they were living.
Yep.
But it's not enough.
No. Well, I don't know how they're going to straighten it out because, like you said, there's a lot of underlying issues there.
Well, I heard today on the way home from work.
Did they have their second meeting with the W?
No.
What's the W stand for?
There are now 8 men, former NBA players, that will make themselves eligible for the draft if the WNBA does not specifically define what a woman is. And that's what they're telling them. You define this specifically, or we're going to come into the draft and you can't keep us out.
And that'll
It'll tank the whole thing.
Yep.
So, like they call it an 80-20 issue. Just do the right thing. There's already, Title IX, there's already laws protecting these women. But when the women don't want to protect themselves, what do you do?
Yeah.
If you can't count on the women to protect their own sports, then you can't count on anybody.
No.
And no politician is going to take a stand on it.
No. And then
might lose a vote.
Lastly, the two local football teams had games, but it was preseason, so a lot of the players that are trying to make the team is who's going to play. So that's about it on that.
Well, I'm going to mention golf.
Good.
I
don't have anything else.
The FedEx tournament's in play now. Started last week with the Wyndham.
I watched the end of that tournament.
This week was St. Jude.
Yeah.
And the way it works is Wyndham plays, then the top 70 go to St. Jude, and then the top 50 go to BMW, and then the top 30 go to Eastlake, the FedEx Cup. Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, do you have an 8-stroke win? Yeah.
He's the only
dominated.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Now, he shot a 61 on Friday. He had 11 birdies. There's 18 holes, and 11 of them he birdied. He had 2 bogeys, but shot a 61. He's been quiet all season, and now he's just going to light it up. And he took the Wyndham off. A lot of the guys take the Wyndham off because they don't need the points. And but now they're all there. Rory missed a cut, and he's still 16th, 13th, 16th. So these guys play the seedings. Right. They know when they have to play, when they don't have to play. But it was a great tournament, and it's Scotty Scheffler. He's the best in the world. It's amazing to watch him play.
Yep.
Okay, that's it.
Well, you got more stuff to talk about.
Oh, you want to get into politics?
If you want to talk a few minutes on what you have left.
Well, you saw.
I'm all done. I got what I had written.
You're done with the show?
No, I'm done with what I have.
Okay.
So now you can finish up.
There's a meme going around about De Niro.
Yeah.
Pissed off at Mamdani.
Which I brought up last week.
Right. He wants to have a meeting with Mamdani. Mamdani's not giving him one. But he's pissed about his taxes, his property taxes. And it's just, I found it funny this week that you brought it up. We mentioned it. And then now it's exploding that he's publicly pissed off at Mamdani.
Good for him. I'm glad. He should deserve it.
Good for him, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him. They read today that Ilhan Omar has a Republican opponent, John Nagel. He's a retired Minnesota state trooper, 30-year state trooper. And it's going to be an interesting campaign.
You think he has a chance?
Well, I mean,
there's the problem over there, is like you stated a while back. Her people all are from there.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because she is the face of fraud in that state.
Yeah.
So
normally you would think that would cost her the election. Normally,
I think they're starting to get tired of the progressive ideology.
Is that a state? That's a statewide. That's not a district, right?
It's senators. So they represent
the whole state,
half the state. They have a district. So there's 2 senators.
Right.
They split it in 2 districts. But but they're getting, like, even Jeffries came out and spoke out against the progressives and said, they keep preaching the Big Tent. They're playing both sides. Well, no, I'm not for abolishing the Senate. Well, of course not.
You're a senator.
Well, or you want to be one.
Yeah.
They not for abolishing the Constitution, but we're a Big Tent party. So they're
trying to distance themselves a little bit from that socialist.
They want to play both sides of the street on it. But one of the things I was thinking about today was I listened to a rally speech by this Abdullah Syed from Michigan.
Yep.
And he's going on about all the stuff they want to do. And the thing they want, they just keep bringing up and punching is Medicare for all. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now let's call it what it is. Socialized medicine.
Right.
Okay. It's not Medicare.
No.
Once you give it to everybody, it's not Medicare anymore.
No.
And what they're not really telling you how they would achieve that, but how they achieve it is by not giving you a right to choose your own doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And socialized medicine doesn't work well. And because if it did, Canadians wouldn't come to this country for medicine. They come across the border to get treated by doctors, if it's something more than a cold, obviously. But and then they talk about if they throw the word free out, when nothing is free.
No.
Zero is free. And I try to tell people government is not a revenue generating company.
No.
It's a break even situation.
Mm-hmm.
So when the cost of government goes up, the money has to come from somewhere. They're not earning it. They're taking it. So someone says, "Oh, free childcare." No. It's not free. That just means someone else who doesn't need childcare is helping you pay for your childcare.
Right.
All right. But Syed says in his speech, you won't have to worry about medical care because the government will take care of it for you. That's exactly what he said. And it got me thinking. Last November, the government shut down for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to all these services when Congress can't pass a bill and they lock it down? Now, all these doctors aren't going to get paid even with socialized medicine because they're not paying anyone. When everything is funded by the government can't shut down at all.
Right.
So
Right.
you had millions of people not getting paid
Mm-hmm.
because the government shut down. You had military not getting paid.
Well, they were shutting them
Right.
down for that specific reason, though.
They do it for leverage.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about when everything is paid for by the
Well,
government?
the people that, if they ever got that in, were the people that aren't going to ever shut that down. If you had enough, socialists in there, they're not going to shut that down. The whole idea what the shutdown was the last time is they wanted to stop Trump again.
I understand that, but when you're voting on a budget, it's not a 51-50 situation. You need 60-40 or whatever. I think it's 60-40.
Mhm.
So you are going to have, unless you just take over the entire Congress, you're not going to have the votes. So it could physically shut down. But now the doctors aren't getting paid, daycares aren't getting paid, but they're not answering that.
No, they're not going to answer.
And I
that.
haven't heard anyone bring that up to them. That what do you do in this case? You want to give everything away for free, but what do you do in case of a government shutdown? We had 2 of them in the last year. 2 government shutdowns in less than a year, in the last 10 months. So,
And then we were talking last week about the SAVE Act and what's the holdup here, and you had mentioned, and I saw it today. They got other stuff attached to it that people aren't going to vote for. They shouldn't have the women in sports is connected to that. That should be a separate vote.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the other one, transgender, something for, obviously we don't want it, but transgender for kids or something. Well, they should be voting on just this
yes.
to get it done and out of the way. That's a separate vote. Like it shouldn't be.
Well,
and there must be other stuff in there that.
Oh, I'm sure there's
He
100
mentioned
things
a couple
in there.
things.
Right.
All right. In other words, when he's saying this, Trump, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm in favor of what you're saying, but why you got that connected to that SAVE Act?
I would bet there's a senator in there that needs repairs on a bridge in his district that is attached to that SAVE Act. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's
And 90% of even the governing Congress agree that they need it, but if you're attaching other stuff to it, so I don't know how they're going to get this through because it's the way they're going about it is totally going to is stalling it.
no. I mean, there's some real fractures in the system, and to me, they seem repairable.
I mean,
Okay, just don't lump stuff in when you have a really important bill that you need the country to support.
I mean, when you voted on stuff, when you were in the government, we didn't vote. We didn't attach, buying a road vehicle to a police car.
Correct.
You voted on separate things, or maybe a bad analogy, but
no, that's the correct.
we didn't. We're buying a fire truck, but we have to vote on paving the road.
Right.
I mean, to me, everything should be voted the right way. I mean, you're trying to gain votes, but I mean,
I guess because they have so much that they do have to lump things in.
Yeah.
And do it on one vote. You have 100 things on one vote because you can't vote 100 times. But
I understand that.
when it's something that important,
get it out of the way quick.
You should separate it.
And not only that, I mean, I was watching Lincoln today. You know, they did the same thing when they were trying to get the 13th Amendment passed, but they were all networking and they were.
That's all it was.
Yeah, it was all, you know, there's a lot of stuff.
Trying to get the emancipation. Like that's the thing that people don't talk about when they talk about the emancipation is the jockeying and negotiating that took place to get that passed. And it didn't pass by much.
No, 2 votes because they needed 2/3 of the majority. It was two votes got it passed.
And wasn't it a senator from Georgia that flipped?
There was a couple that flipped.
But it was one southern senator flipped to do it. But it's just always been that way.
Yeah, it's always been that way. That's why I brought it up, because I was thinking back about watching that, and they did it the same way. But something like that.
But then what did they do? What did the Democrats do after the emancipation? Within a few years, they enacted the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
Because that was their way to get leverage back.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way the South could do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then we dealt with that for 100 years.
Yep.
90 years.
Yeah, so I don't know how he's going to, I don't know what his plan is. I'd like to see something done, but I don't know how he's going to do it. And I don't know. Unless he wins the midterms and he gains seats. That's the only way. Other than breaking it out.
But I'm not sure what the percentage of votes they need for that, but they need people to flip.
They need a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got there, Danny. Yeah. Anything else to report today? Rob, how about you?
Nope. Got nothing, Paul.
All right.
What about me, Rob? You got anything for me?
No.
Okay. Well, I figured I'd give it a shot.
Yep. Sorry. I'm going to the cottage tonight. Anybody want to come?
It's a work night, man.
Danny's all business.
You don't go either way.
He's
Doesn't
all
matter.
business, Rob.
That's not true.
Kind of.
Danny's all business. Until he retires, he's all business. He's got pedal to the metal. He sees the end of the tunnel. He's trying to drive through it.
Yeah. When I see that light, walk towards it.
You better talk to Paul first. Maybe light's not all it's cracked up to be.
What light?
The retirement light.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And if you don't, you won't tell anybody.
Well, you'll have to find me on the golf course.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. See you next week.
Night.
See ya.
Bye.